Flow 5. Releasing the need to chase. Our society teaches us from the time we're young to even chase our dreams, right? To chase. The word to chase. Allow our dreams to manifest has a completely different energy than chase our dreams. Look at attached avoidant. Is there a person in your life that you keep texting, that you keep calling with no response? Really allow their silence to be their response, as painful as that might be. And then you become liberated when you realize you don't need to be attached to the avoidant, yeah? Because oftentimes that can be trauma bonding, and that's chasing. And as I referred to in an earlier flow, that Buddha talks about, our greatest suffering comes from attachment. Are you attached to seeing if someone texts you back, or did they call you back? Or you jump every time you see your phone because you're waiting for a certain person to text you back? And they're breadcrumbing you, or they're just giving you a little douse, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and you're waiting for that? You deserve better. You don't need to sit in that pain. You don't need to waste a decade of your life or longer wondering if they're going to show up differently, hoping they're going to show up differently. Believe the truth of what they're showing you, because their silence is their response. Same with outcomes for jobs. Did you apply for the job? Are you wanting to follow up 10 times to see if you're getting the interview? Sometimes you may not hear back at all. Or sometimes they're just quiet. And sometimes it's the rejection. But know that you're still amazing, whether or not you get the interview, don't get the interview, or whether you get the job or whether you don't get the job. You are being redirected to where it is that you are meant to be. And when we let go of the chase, then we allow flow. It's so simple, yet our mind and our ego wants us stuck in the suffering. We are wired to be stuck in suffering because we have a mind and an ego that wants us stuck in a story that's not serving us. So when we can rise above and again begin to witness the lack of response from a job application, or the lack of response of the person that you hope is going to call you back and they never call you back because you really just aren't the priority, then let that redirect you back to yourself. Reclaim your power, stand in your power, allow your life to flow to you. Do not chase anything that is not organically flowing in your direction. Now, it's essential for us to take action steps, to lean into taking steps towards building clients, taking steps toward enhancing relationships and opening doors to friendships and connection, deepening relationships, exploring by applying for jobs. But the key is the non-attachment. So when there is silence from either the job application or the person not calling you back, you can consciously make a choice to not suffer in the pain of the silence. And remember that the silence is the response. And let that be the lesson. And what I talked about in the last flow, about having the courage to believe the truth of what we're shown. If people aren't responding to you in the way, or you're always the one making the effort in the friendship, or you're always the one making the effort, and then you get no response, but then suddenly that person shows up when they need something or they want something, and you haven't heard a response from them in a year, but suddenly there's something they need and they pop up. We don't have to be available. We get to choose whether we want to interact with that relationship. If there's been silence and suddenly they show up because they want something or they need something, and meanwhile you've had an experience of pain from attached avoidant, you don't have to suffer anymore. You can choose peace. And you can also choose to not welcome that energy into your life. People can spend decades on relationships and friendships, marriages, jobs, keep thinking that we're going to have a different reaction rather than believing the truth of what we are being shown. And the truth of what we're being shown is always unraveled right in the beginning. So save decades. Maybe you hearing this right now will save you decades. If you are chasing a person or a situation that is not organically unraveling and it is causing you deep pain, then you get to take your power back in this moment. You don't have to chase the avoidant. Put your hand on your heart. Know that you are divine, that you are amazing, and that you deserve what's going to flow to you. That you deserve nothing less than what organically is meant for you. Relationships that communicate back to you. Friends who show up in a consistent manner. You deserve kindness, you deserve respect, you deserve consistency, you deserve clarity. When the avoidant chooses silence, distance, lack of respect, lack of communication, know that you deserve better. Most importantly, you deserve peace. And then when they show up again, and they keep showing up in your story, pop up, fade out, pop up, fade out, then that's where we have to take the responsibility and say, why am I allowing this to keep popping up in my story? Whoo, right? That's tough. That's tough to look at. Why am I allowing a behavior that continuously causes me pain, attachment, and suffering to keep showing up in the story? That's where we do get to choose. We get to choose our friendships. We get to choose who's in our inner circle. We get to choose who we want to spend time with. We get to choose peace. And when you begin to get honest and look at yourself and where you're chasing and where you're not getting response, that you can choose to move the chair and flip the script and take your power back. Those who are not meant for us will fall away from our story, but if we keep allowing them in the story and the pain continues, then we have to take ownership of that we are the ones allowing that pain. We can rise above that and know that who is meant for us will show up with kindness, respect, consistency, safety, and clarity. When you release the need to chase relationships, career, opportunities, and truly trust what flows, know that if something doesn't flow, you are being redirected to where you are meant to be, where your alignment is meant to be, and trust that. What are the friendships that energize you? What are the connections that drain you? You get to rip the anchor out and sail free. And the moment we stop chasing relationships, career, opportunities, and we allow true flow to happen, there is a deep peace that washes over us. that will anchor us to our inner calm shoreline. Please take a breath into that. And I invite you to take some time after this flow to journal. What is flowing to you in your life? Who are the relationships that are manifesting? Where have you been chasing? Who have you been chasing? What situations are you pushing that aren't responding? What doors are opening for you organically that you might be missing because you keep chasing? When we allow flow and we stop chasing opportunities, career, people that is not flowing, and we truly allow an organic unraveling of our life without push or pull, and it flows like the river that I'm looking at in front of me, that is when you become aligned fully with your soul's calling to anchor to your inner